Hi and welcome to my patio, my garden patio, my patio garden. Hey boy, it's been a minute since I've gotten on and given you folks a tour of my backyard. We're just climbing into September. This past weekend, Labor Day weekend, I threw a Hawaiian barbecue. The wife and I had a great time. We had, probably a group of about 45 people and a handful of little ones. All enjoying the tropical feel, if you will, of the backyard, as well as some amazing food, if I do say so myself. Got a lot of compliments on the spam musubi, homemade, the kalua pork, wrapped with my own banana leaves, as well as some huli huli chicken. So, since we last visited, I have just been out gathering plants, putting in plants, finding things to plant, finding things to grow. And then there's that work thing that I do in order to, pay the rent, mortgage, if you will, so I can actually be here to put things in. Hey, but did you check out the sign? My parents came for a visit a couple weeks back to meet their new great-grandson and hang out for a weekend, and my dad brought that. That is tiger oak. He reclaimed a piece of tiger oak from a dining room table and made that for me. So I thought, oh, what a great spot to put that. It looks amazing. So September, hey, some tips, some things to know, what you should be thinking of. Now, some of us, not me, I refuse to allow summer to end. But some folks are starting to get some anxiety. Oh, my tomatoes, they're not ripening. Oh, should I rip them out of the ground? Should I pick them? What should I do? Oh, frost is right around the corner. What should I do? Boy, I want to plant something. Oh, it's fall. It's almost fall. What should I do? Hey, if you're in the Northwest and check the climate in your neck of the woods, but we still have weeks of nice weather. Shoot, here in the Tacoma, Seattle area, they're forecasting 90 degrees here in a couple days. So don't give up on summer yet. It is still here. And don't be looking at those websites trying to see when the first frost is going to be and getting all worked up. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Do a little planning, but enjoy it. And hey, if you're planting vegetables, now is still a great time in many parts of the world to be putting in your fall crop. So a lot of great options there. All those cool weather crops, get them going. A few things you can even get in the ground and be picking, well into the winter. Or maybe start planning for what type of garlic you're going to want to harvest next year, because here in about a month, that's going to be a great time to be getting that planted. So all kinds of great things. Don't give up just because the calendar says it's September. Don't give up yet, but modify your gardening as needed for the cooler nights, especially if you're in an area like the Northwest, where we get those marine layers and those cooler nights. So, but hey, let's get on a tour. I got to show you all the cool new plants I got in the last, month and a half, I think. Oh my gosh, it's been forever since we've chatted. So I'm going to ramble on and give you a tour of the garden. Here we go. All right, well, we're here on the patio. Let's start here. Now, to make things just a little more efficient, because we know I get sidetracked, I even took notes. So we're not just standing staring at plants as I fumble through my memory banks trying to figure out what it was. So let's start with, these orchid cactus. Yes, they're orchid cactus. They're doing very nicely. I have begonias everywhere that are doing amazing. And check out the brugmansia, angel's trumpet, if you will. I go on about it a lot. It smells amazing. Wow, and do you remember how big this red Abyssinian banana was when I first shared it with you folks? That thing's gotta be at least, 6-7 feet tall? Hard to say, but I just can't wait to see year after year how much bigger it gets. Now, yes, a little anxiety. How will I dig that out? Will it be as easy as all the information I found to overwinter it in the garage? Well, we will find out. My Abutulon Savitsi is pretty. It's supposed to flower, I don't know when. Have a few fuchsias. Oh, the cold hardy hibiscus, Rosa Sharon, I think is it commonly called. That's in bloom, or still blooming. Last year, I recall by September, it pretty much done. Water fountaining, making all kinds of noise. My little bog garden, it's not completely dead, though. I had a great conversation this weekend with my neighbor, actually, who is a lot more knowledgeable on these carnivorous plants, and he's given me some tips on how to improve this. And by next episode, we should see a modification there, as well as they're not all alike, as far as some are tropical, some are not tropical. So we'll be making some modifications as we go into winter, so that we can have a great opportunity. My patio begonias. You know, if you've ever tried to grow tuberous patio begonias and you've struggled, I will tell you the biggest key is playing around with them. Finding that right spot in your garden, on your patio, where they get the optimum amount of light. Now, I'm not saying they need a lot of light. I'm not saying they need no light. You have to find that area where they're gonna thrive. And it took me a couple years, but I think they're thriving. I absolutely love the look on people's faces when they come onto my patio and see those. That wow factor. We had an extra pineapple. It was kind of green. So I ripped the top off, twisted it off, peeled some of the leaves, put it in some soil. Will it grow? I don't know. Supposedly it will. Oh, I have a delphinium blooming. I have a couple others budding. That's always nice. One of my begonia Jean Daniels, it's starting to put on some growth. She'll go in the greenhouse. Oh, okay, I just gotta show you. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Now, I didn't quite get on the right fertilizing regimen this year to get the great big gorgeous leaves, but just check out all those buds. By next weekend when I get home from work, wow, oh my gosh, wow, that's just gonna be amazing. Check out my new bananas. Oh, I got a new banana. Okay, now I'm not surprised to see a new banana. I'm surprised because I forgot to list it as one of my new plants I got since we last chatted. This is, it starts with an S, Red Tiger. See that variegated leaf? Supposedly cold hardy in my area. I'm gonna make sure to mulch that grate with some straw. This Musa, that's a pup that I cut off of my my grove last year. That's doing really well. I have another one that's not doing so well, but it doesn't look like it's sick. You like hummingbirds? Do you want hummingbirds to come to your patio, to your yard? Plant Chilean glory vine. They love this, absolutely love it. And they pollinate so much, there's seed pods everywhere. Let those seed pods dry up, collect the seeds, keep planting them. Cold hardy-ish, hopefully in my area, zone 8. But if nothing else, they grow very quickly. This was a 4-inch plant. You remember, we've chatted about this before. Oh, excuse me. But it's starting to grow up over the patio, which is amazing. My tropical hibiscus. Yesterday, this thing was in full bloom. We still have some pretty ones on here, some more buds coming. the Musa. Oh my gosh, the Musa. The canna lilies. Wow, I saw two pictures. One from a year ago, one taken this weekend. And I was impressed with my cannas last year. But this year, oh my gosh, in comparison, wow. And then the bamboo up there above, I just sit and stare at these. Oh, and the hummingbirds love them. All of my cannas are from the Horn Canna Company. You can look them up on the internet. They have just a quality product that they sell. Here's another brugmansia. It is not currently in bloom, but it's got buds galore. And I'm thinking by next weekend, there are gonna be all kinds. I'm not sure when I'll do another video, but hey, you can find me on Facebook, The Angry Gardener, and I will definitely be posting there. I share all kinds of stuff there as well. Let's see, well, let's just go out this way. My wife helped inspired this amazing little pathway. She did all the rock work, the little stepping stones. So that, I just think, kind of adds to it. Just kind of adds to the appeal. We've got some green grass that needs mowed. Not a lot going on back on this side. We've got some hollyhocks. I'm re-envisioning that for next year. These hollyhocks will be going away. But to a good cause. Hopefully you'll see them at a plant sale next spring. Not my plant sale. And then here we have another brugmansia. This one is not putting on buds yet. And I don't remember the color scheme on this one. But it will go in the greenhouse, and perhaps next year it will. So remember, tomatoes. My tomatoes are still green. My tomatoes haven't ripened. Yeah, I get it. We had a cool spring. Things got going late. I just keep whacking the top of this thing off to help try to keep energy going to the actual tomatoes. Sooner or later, oh, look at that big boy. I will have my BLT. Oh, and then here, this wonderful woman gifted me this flannel plant. It's a Fremonted I don't know what that says. We'll just call it a flannel plant. I'm gonna keep that in the greenhouse over winter at her advice, and then get that planted full sun, spring moisture. And then I propagated a couple cuttings off my honeysuckle from the front yard. Don't know what I'll do with it, but I wanted to see, could I do it? The Calamandan orange, again, not sure what that'll do over winter. Should be cold hardy here. Check out the dark green foliage on that. Light green here. Don't know what that tells me. We've got a cold hardy hibiscus back there, one of those like mallow plants. That did not get enough sun, so it is just now starting to bud. I'm hoping it'll bloom before end of summer. Just the backside of that Chilean glory vine. Then my Passiflora passion vine. Do you remember when I first talked about this, when I first put in this trellis? That little tiny plant that was about 12 inches tall has now grown to the top, and it is filling in. Very excited to see what it does in the coming years. And what do we got going on over here on a propagation station? Well, at a good friend's playing cards, they had an amazing hydrangea. Don't know their names. We'll just say they're amazing. Got some of that propagating. This broke off of one of my new begonias, which will called Begonia Smooch, cold hardy. So I propagated it. It's growing. This, I had to take an unfortunate trip to California. We won't talk about the reasons, but on the way back, I saw this amazing fuchsia colored oleander. So I took some cuttings. I am hoping to propagate it. And then this, my daughter and I, we were at a nursery, and she picked up a Mexican orange. I picked up a butcher's broom, and this piece fell off or broke off and was in my pot. So I propagated it, got nice little roots going, and off we went. You may remember on my patio, I had my Ligulera growing. It was in the same pot for like 3 years. I have now moved it into my shade area and hoping that it will thrive here and grow huge. I've also divided, split, spread out, and put my Rodgersia apple blossom, Rodgersia, into the ground here. Ooh, this guy I found at Cistus Nursery, Metapanax, false ginger. This will grow pretty tall. It'll flower, and I think it just gives that tropical feel. Oh, clearance. Found this end of season clearance. Had to get in my yard. Purple geranium, if you're ever in the Puyallup area in the summer, spring and summer, purple geranium. There's that butcher's broom. So if you're not familiar with butcher's broom, in the spring it will bloom. The bud comes right and it blooms the flower right in the middle of the leaf. I had never heard of such a thing, so I had to have it. Now, it's not really rare, but I hadn't heard of such a thing. All right, then let's get into some more begonias, because, you know, I really kind of love the begonias. Oh, look, a mole pushed up dirt there. That's exciting. So this is a Grandis of some sort. I was getting some terrarium begonias from this great person in Chehalis, and she had this and offered that to me, so I took it, put it in my yard. We've got begonia smooch, so this is what it looks like when it's a little bit bigger. This won't get very tall, but it'll spread out, and it just has these adorable little pink flowers. Love that, and I love how it grows. This was gotten at Cistus Nursery. I love how that grows. My cow parsnip. Then, oh, Far Reaches Conservatory, or Far Reaches Farm in Port Townsend. This is a Yugo, maybe Yugo 301. Supposedly cold hardy. We will see. But isn't that just, check that out. Isn't that amazing? And this little guy, Sterling Moon. This was mail order gone wrong. I ordered Sterling Moon and Dark Side of the Moon, both supposedly cold hardy. This one came absolutely destroyed, but it has got some growth. I need to treat for slugs, apparently. Another smooch. I really love that smooch, so I got a bunch of those. Oh, this guy's putting on some new growth. This is that Dark Side of the Moon. And check this out. My video doesn't do it justice, but when the sun hits that just right, the light hits it just right, that gives a blue sheen. Absolutely amazing. But oh, I just love that color. And then these little guys here, and there's one back there. Those are a type of lily, Cardiocrinum giganticum, or something like that. It'll take them a few years to be really impressive, but when they send off their flower spike, wow. Oh, and then my pot people, their hair has overcome their eyes. The astaboid something or another thing. Shield plant. We'll just call it a shield plant. That has put on some new growth. I'm really curious to see how that does next spring when it comes back. Then my shade garden. Check out the colors. This is a plan gone right. I wanted a variety of begonias. I wanted flowers. I wanted to see something amazing. And to me, this is amazing. I hope you find it just as exciting. Check out the size of that Jean Daniels. Now, she's not cold hardy. She'll go in the greenhouse this winter. She's just in a pot. But these Grandies, the white, the pink. Those should come back. The Sutherlandii, those will come back. And then these two in front, I get them mixed up and, well, just can't quite see the label. One is a Chandler's Hardy and one is Hemsleyana. They haven't bloomed this year, but hopefully they will be happy over winter and bloom next year. The Petadiphyta, that has bloomed, but the blooms are kind of below the foliage. That's fine. I love the foliage. Oh, I got a hardy geranium. I find that ugly as sin. That will show up a free offering on one of my local Facebook groups, because there's no need for that to be in my garden. Slugs are eating my, what's it called, a fathead something or another, or astrostar, I don't know what it is. We're not going to make things up, but that's going to be a cool variegated thing that's going to grow really tall. Oh. You should have been here. We had some big giant blooms on this pink one. It's still pretty. And check out those leaves. Check out those leaves. They're huge. Huge, I tell you. All right, let's get going this way. Oh, the grandkids were here this weekend. We put the little kiddie pool out so they could play in the water. We'll get that put away. Oh, and here's my hot mess of the back corner. So up, you know, from the patio, it looks absolutely amazing. But when you get up close, oh, things did not grow the way it should have, or the way I had envisioned it. But we've got all kinds of different sunflowers blooming. A few of the dahlias are blooming. If you'll recall, this spring after I planted the dahlias, my granddaughter was nice enough to bring me all the plant stakes. So I have no idea which ones are growing where, but I'm hoping one of these is Grandpa's gift. That was my favorite of last year, my favorite of all time. We do have a Maui blooming. That's pretty. Then we have, oh, somebody was over yesterday and told me what this was. I should have wrote that down. Oh, well. Oh, it's almost there. Check out that. Look at that dahlia. Cafe au lait, that's what it is. Cafe au lait. Isn't she gorgeous? Or maybe this one's Grandpa's gift. Look at, whatever it is, it's going to be a big one. Look at how big. I think that's Grandpa's gift. Check that out. That's a huge, huge. And then sunflowers from Sunflower Steve. So the goal here was, if I planted them 6 to 8 inches apart, they'd only grow 4 to 5 feet tall, so they'd be great for cut flowers. Well, that's what I did. And that, yeah, they're loving life here. We got one that's just budding now. That's gotta be 12 feet tall. And then here, check out Labyrinth. We're gonna venture back here. Oh, I don't remember its name, but pretty, pretty. We have another Santa Claus growing back here. Apparently I planted a couple of those. But back here we have Labyrinth. Great big, oh, just full of buds. Labyrinth, love it. Labyrinth and Cafe au lait are new for me this year. Just absolutely love it. There's a couple more back there, but they're not in bloom, so we're not gonna venture back there. I have not provided them enough sun, so, but the sunflowers, on the other hand, here is another Brugmansia. It is not blooming either, but there's still hope. There's still hope. Okay, just a moment. Take a look at that. I love my bamboo. Love my bamboo. What else we got going on here? The roses, well, they've seen their better days, but full of buds. Oh, pop into the greenhouse. It's mostly storage, but take a look at what I got going on in here. I was provided some seeds for peonies, So I'm gonna give my go at trying to germinate peony seeds. As well as, I forgot to put out my poppy seeds last year. Well, I have collected poppy seeds from the few volunteers that came, so I can get more out for next year. I'll sprinkle those this winter sometime. My rice paper plant is doing very nicely, as is my pomegranate, which I was surprised. It pretty much started over. Oh, and then another new one that I got at Far Reaches Conservatory. This is a Chilean fire tree. Look that up. I'll just say, look that up. Very impressive. And then while I was down at Sisters Nursery, because I couldn't leave empty-handed and the cart still had room, I got an Aesculus wangii, otherwise known as Vietnamese buckeye. So that'll grow nice and tall, give a nice filtered light. I'm hoping to get some dappled shade onto the greenhouse so I can do more in the summer in the greenhouse. Some of my hollyhocks, well, these light colors don't really impress me. It's still kind of cool. And it's great to see all the bees and stuff. We have these 4 o'clocks growing everywhere. That's a weed. Well, it's not a weed, I planted it, but it grows like a weed. Here are my new canna lilies for this year. Ginger trampled them most of the first couple months they were in the ground before I put up fencing, but my Cleopatra is finally blooming. Curious to see how future flowers look. Here's another one that's getting ready to bud. I think there's some variation on the color scheme when they do bud. Okay, let's take another look at the, yeah, right? Isn't that awesome? Oh, just love it. Can't wait to get back from work just so I can enjoy my patio more. My little palm tree is growing. The cardoon, hey, let's go over by the cardoon. That thing bloomed. Oh, it was full of these amazing purple flowers. Oh, you should have been here. There's a few still finishing up, but we're gonna let that dry out. Then I'll see if anybody wants some seeds. My Gunnera, look at that. It's got a little baby thing coming out on the side. That's really kind of cool. And I love the look of that gnarly center. Just look at that. Isn't that great? Ooh, I got another new plant. A couple new plants. This one right here, that is a dahlia. It's a dahlia tree. That is known as dahlia, my notes, see, can you read that? I can't read it, it's right here. Dahlia inter something or another. Anyhow, that's a dahlia tree. That'll grow up nice and tall and put on these little pink flowers. Can't wait for that. And my honey bush, do you remember when I planted that? That boy was only about a foot tall, maybe. That's Antono's Blue. It's a honey bush. If you smell your fingers after rubbing it, kind of smells like peanut butter. And then I have a bear's breeches. Probably can't see that, but there's a bear's, if you can point it out, if you can see it, you know it. But there's a bear's breeches I planted last year that finally decided to start growing. So, but wow. Just wow, right? Right? Hey, so that is my yard in a nutshell, and I'm sure I've missed something. Boy, if you're still hanging on with us, thank you. But you know, I did warn you at the beginning of the video, this one would take a minute just because there were so many cool new plants, and I could have stopped and spent hours. I love it. Love it, love it, love it, giving tours of my garden. If you're ever in the area, hit me up. Provided it's, you know, not in the middle of the winter or early spring, because my garden ain't a lot to look at that point. But in the summer, probably until middle October, it's still pretty impressive. Yep. Anyhow, I digress. I rambled. Hey, if you already follow me, you know that. Happy gardening, have a great September. Can't wait to talk with you soon.